Echoes from Hell, A Journey into the Depths of Fire, Episode 3. Scenes from the Day of Judgment, deserted she-camels, inflamed seas, and the blowing of the trumpet. The fourth scene before the arrival of the Day of Judgment, and when the pregnant she-camels are neglected, Surah At-Takwir 4. The term she-camels refers to wealth, the payment of taxes, and other commercial activities. However, since the Arabs of the past did not have stock markets, global trade systems, or currencies, early interpreters understood this verse as a reference to the gathering places for trading camels, a central aspect of their economy at the time. This system, as described, will cease due to the enormity of the scene. In today's context, where people engage in trade and business far beyond camel markets, the verse signifies the most valuable possessions of humanity: markets, commerce, and wealth, which people often pursue at any cost, sometimes even committing crimes for their acquisition. Yet, when humans witness these terrifying scenes, they will be overcome with shock and profound fear. Consequently, the global trade systems and labor markets will halt, and people will abandon their attachment to the wealth and commerce they once held so dear. This verse suggests that these cosmic terrors, such as the extinguishing of the sun and the splitting of the earth, occur gradually. On the first day, the sun will fade away, plunging the earth into complete darkness. This alone will disrupt markets, businesses, and global trade, leaving people in a state of bewilderment. Then, subsequent events will unfold in sequence, culminating in the complete end of all things. The fifth scene, and when the seas are set on fire, Surah At-Takwir 6. The word set on fire, sujirat, is derived from the Arabic verb sajara, which means to transform something into fire or to make it blaze. In the context of this verse, it is believed to refer to a radical and catastrophic transformation in nature that will occur at the end of time. The seas will lose their normal properties and may turn into fire or boil over, symbolizing the immense upheavals that precede the Day of Judgment. The repeated phrase, "and when," at the beginning of each verse in Surah At-Takwir, such as, "when the sun is wrapped up and when the stars lose their light," indicates that these events will happen sequentially, with time intervals between them. This means everything will not conclude in a single moment, hour, or day. The use of the phrase, "and when," underscores the suddenness of these events, occurring without scientific explanation or prior warning. One day, people will be sitting, and suddenly they will see the sun darkened and extinguished. After a day, 2 days, or perhaps just a few hours, the next event will unfold. The stars will dim and scatter. Following that, the seas will appear as though they are ablaze. At this point, all human activities, professions, and commerce will come to a halt. People will forget their love for wealth and power, for which they toiled day and night. This is why the verse says, "And when the pregnant she-camels are neglected," Surah At-Takwir 4, symbolizing the cessation of stock markets, global trade, and all commercial enterprises. These events will terrify humanity, marking the final moments or days of life in this universe, as the world witnesses its ultimate and profound transformation. The sixth scene, and when the wild beasts are gathered, Surah At-Takwir 5. There is a difference of opinion among scholars regarding the meaning of the word wild beasts, al-wuhush. Does it refer to animals that are typically not domesticated by humans, such as lions, tigers, and other wild or predatory animals? Or does it encompass all animals on the surface of the earth? After witnessing these terrifying and catastrophic events, all animals will gather together. Animals that once feared lions or humans, on that day, due to the intense fear and panic engulfing everyone, will run alongside one another. They will forget that they once hunted or feared each other. Instead, they will seek closeness to one another, forming groups to reduce the overwhelming fear and terror present on Earth. This gathering could represent a prelude to the Day of Judgment, where animals, overwhelmed by the gravity of events, come together in fear. Alternatively, it might symbolize the final gathering, where all creations, including humans, jinn, and animals, are brought together for judgment on a flattened Earth that after the great upheaval is devoid of mountains and hills, serving as a single vast plain. The early verses of Surah At-Takwir can be understood as describing profound and terrifying events that occur on Earth before humanity faces death. However, the subsequent horrors appear to take place after everything has ended, following the blowing of the trumpet. It is then that all creations are resurrected and assembled on this leveled earth, ready for the final reckoning. The seventh scene. And when the souls are paired, Surah At-Takwir 7. When the verse states, "And when the souls are paired," it refers to the moment after the second blowing of the trumpet, when people rise from their graves and their souls are reunited with their bodies. This signifies the return of the soul to the body, which then merges with it once again. Here, the phrase, "souls are paired," does not describe the pairing of men and women. Instead, it refers to the reuniting of the soul, which had been in the realm of Barzakh, or the intermediate world, with its physical body. This reunion prepares the individual for the events of the Day of Judgment. Those who experience fear and are struck unconscious during the first blowing of the trumpet are only the evildoers. This is why the Quran states, "And all those in the heavens and the earth will fall dead except those whom Allah wills." Surah Az-Zumar 68. Some individuals, during this initial phase, will be present on earth, witnessing these terrifying events, yet they will not fear. These individuals are under divine will and mercy, which protects them from the overwhelming terror. Conclusion. Through the verses, "And when hellfire is set ablaze," Surah At-Takwir 12, "and in when paradise is brought near," Surah At-Takwir 13, we understand that the paradise where martyrs and prophets resided was not the same paradise that all will eventually enter. Instead, it was another place. At that moment, when people emerge from their graves, paradise will be brought closer and adorned for those who are destined to enter it. If they were already in paradise, there would be no need for it to be brought near or beautified. Likewise, hellfire will be prepared and ignited for its inhabitants, suggesting that perhaps no one had entered it prior to that moment. These preparations, both for paradise and hellfire, signify the beginning of the final reckoning, where each soul will face its ultimate destiny. You've been with the Sacred Narratives Hub by Mansoura Shoberi.